All right, welcome in. It is time for the Saturday edition of Total Bases. Hope the internet holds up. I decided to get out of the rain that is in New York, all over the Northeast right now, and go hit a couple baseball games in New England, which is the only area on the East Coast that's not raining right now. So we're gonna try on Brian Leonard. I pay for the extra, like the upgraded internet in the hotel, so I'm a little bit annoyed right now that I'm not like on perfect internet, but I guess we'll have to work through it. I think you had a pretty good night last night, so I'm gonna head to you first. Tell the people how you did, what you got going on, and kick us off on Dodgers Brewers, which will be our feature game for today. Fox National TV tonight, 7:15 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we pulled off a 5-1 day yesterday, including a big underdog winner on the Vegas Golden Knights. Continue to dominate in NBA and NHL postseason, as we talked about many times before the end of the season. Thought we were going to get a 6-0 as I looked at this game that I actually had as my parlay yesterday. No runs after like 3 innings, looking good. Then all of a sudden they come up with 9 runs for the White Sox in 1 inning. It was a rare game where there was 13 runs, but only 12 combined hits. So I thought we were on the right side on the under there, and it didn't work out. So lost the parlay. I don't know if how you guys did on your parlay bets, but that one didn't work. But still, 5-1 overall. Last 3 days have been great, and we've got a solid 3% play up in the NBA playoffs for tonight. 21-8 the last 2 years, I believe, in the NBA playoffs. So, yeah, looking forward to that, and looking forward to some baseball today. As you mentioned, the Dodgers going against Milwaukee. We had Milwaukee as a play last night. Sasaki, who we've been looking, at least I've been looking to fade most of the season so far, although he did pitch much better last time out, going against the lefty Gasser. And Gasser is a guy that's been sort of like a 4A guy at this point. His numbers in the majors have not looked good. Whereas yesterday we had 2 pitchers that I thought we could trust. I'm not sure we've got it in this game. Sasaki is listed basically about a 117 favorite right now with a total of 9. If I'm playing this one, and I haven't said this very often, I'd be looking to play Sasaki and the Dodgers from a Milwaukee standpoint. You know, you take a look at what the Dodgers have done. Their bullpen's in great shape for tonight. All their arms are available. From the Milwaukee standpoint, slightly different here, but they have Uribe and McGill available tonight. But Aaron Ashby, who's been great for him this year, threw 32 pitches yesterday. Chad Patrick threw 22, so they're limited, a little bit limited in the bullpen here. But I kind of like the Dodgers here. I don't know if I'm going to get there unless it gets down to like a pick'em range. But I prefer the Dodgers here against Milwaukee after Milwaukee was good to us yesterday.
TB, you've been watching Roki Sasaki for a long time. He's having a good month right now. Haven't been able to say that every month the last couple of years. Been very up and down for him. I've sort of been out on him as a starter, I would say, like just in general. But he's pitched pretty well this past month. So Dodgers, Brewers, Sasaki, and then Gasser for the Brewers. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah. Speaking of the White Sox, Davis Martin strikeouts over 4.5 was my win last night, which was kind of cool. I love backing Davis Martin every time he comes up in one way or another. So looking at the Dodgers Brewers today. Oh, and I have 2 4% plays up in MLB today that I really like. Speaking of today's game, Sasaki's been looking okay. He's not walking people, which is good. His strike to walk ratio is improved a lot, but his expected numbers still not good. I'm expecting him to come back to normal. But when he gets tagged, he doesn't get tagged because he's walking people. He gets tagged because he gives up hard contact. And I don't expect him to fare too well against these Brewers. Brewers are whacking the ball really good right now. got them in the top 10 Major League Baseball current form, and I got the Dodgers top 10 Major League current form. Bullpens are both playing well. Actually, Brewers and Dodgers both performing well, but given the fact that the starting pitchers, I have them ranked pretty poorly, and I have both lineups in the top 10, I think over 9 would be a way to go here. I can't argue with Brian's Dodgers pick either. So I would go one of those two ways in this game if I had to bet it, which I have not yet.
Yeah, this is very much a coin flip, in my opinion. Like, this was one of the ones where I kind of quickly moved past. Felt like my number, I think I made it 105 each way, minus 110 each way, whatever you want to call it. It's basically where the books have it. Sasaki's a guy that I've been more inclined to fade when he's a starter in recent, I would say the last maybe year or so. But it's also been a confidence thing for him, in my opinion. And right now he looks confident, right? Last couple starts, 6 innings against the Cardinals. Pretty good outing against the Giants. And then last time out, phenomenal. Yes, it was the Angels. They haven't hit much. Well, they hit last night, but they haven't hit much lately. But he still goes 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, no walks. Command was really good, 8 strikeouts. I just don't know that I want to step in front of that. And with Gasser, it's like, I like the Brewers. I think this could be an NLCS preview. Tokyo Brandon's talking about current form. Both these teams in the top 10. Both these teams are probably like they're certainly top 5 teams in the National League. Could be top 5 teams in the league. So yeah, this is, I'm not even going to really spend much more time on this one. It's a tricky game. Brian, I'll roll with you. I think if I had to, I would try to just ride the Sasaki wave of form here. And if he pitches well, he probably outpitches Gasser, who has battled injury, been up and down to AAA. So probably a slight edge for the Dodgers in this one. Yeah, what I was saying, the Yankees-Rays game has already been rained out. That's why your boy hit the road, tried to catch a little bit of good weather out here. Last night was a beautiful night in Worcester, Polar Park. Phenomenal, newer minor league stadium. And I'm going to go to Portland today. SU Iceman, he says he likes the hat I'm wearing. I believe... So I think all 30 teams have these now. This is like a new era. This is the Marlins version. I got this at Lone Depot Park. Bit of a humiliation ritual for me because I'm wearing it a night after I bet the Mets. And people are asking about this game, so let's talk about it. I also can't seem to get it buckled again. There we go. So yeah, I was on the Mets last night. Thankfully, they were so cryptic about what they were going to do with their starting pitching that I didn't know earlier in the day. Had I known that they were going to do what I wanted them to do, or what I, sort of what I hoped they would do, Myers, Manea to Tong, Mets would have been a 5%er for me. So Brian Leonard, I'm going to go with the glass half full approach on life right here today. They saved me a unit by not really saying what they were going to do with their pitching until very late in the day. Once they made the announcement that Jonah Tong was active, I kind of knew he'd get in the game, and they used Manaya as well. So again, they did exactly what I wanted them to do. Juan Soto hit one to another stratosphere. Think that ball went 460 feet, and then they didn't hit the rest of the game. The Marlins end up gutting out a 2-1 win. And now it's a guy I like for the Marlins on the mound in Max Myers. So I don't really know what to do with this game, but the people want to know. Tell me how you're looking Mets-Marlins here.
Yeah, I was somewhat surprised that Tobias Myers only threw 20 pitches yesterday. I thought they were going to give him 3 innings here, but he didn't get there. He's been a guy that they've been using out of the bullpen. He has a little bit of starters experience. I thought he'd go a little bit longer, but Shamanea came in there and gave him 65 pitches. So he threw 57 last Sunday, threw 65. I think we know what Shamanea's spot in the bullpen is. He's the long reliever. Jonah Tong, I didn't know if they were going to bring him in to start. That was one of the questions, is if he was going to play, where he was going to come in. But Yeah, they got a good game out of them, and we're looking at a Mets team right now where the top of the order has been really hot. Carson Bench. So this is the last 7 days. 25th in baseball. Bichette 7th. Juan Soto number 1, and the number 5 guy Brett Beatty starting to heat up at 80. So yeah, they've got some guys starting to come out of it a little bit offensively. And the bullpen, although they did use a lot of key bullpen pieces on Thursday, none of the top 4 were used yesterday. And so I think they're at the back of the bullpen is going to be in pretty good shape here. And it's a situation for me where we're looking at basically Peralta against Meyer. Meyer's about a 110 favorite right now, slight favorite with a total of 7.5 to the over. I am seeing a couple 8s out there, but I like both these pitchers. Peralta, now that he's settled in for the Mets, I expect him to have a good game. Meyer is a guy, we always like him, but he's been very inconsistent. If he pitches like he can, this could be a lower scoring game. But that said, I like the top of the order hitting for both of these teams. So yeah, if I'm playing something, it would actually, I don't at this point, I don't think I see anything available. So I'm just going to let it go to the next guy.
TV, we'll go to you. You've talked about sort of maybe targeting Peralta first 5. He's been like a 5-inning guy, it seems like, for a lot of his career, but typically they're 5 strong innings. So first 5 full game Mets Marlins. How are you looking at this one?
So guys, grab a double play. You can get 2 of us, 3 days, huge discount. And if you only like one of us, you can get any capper at WagerTalk 3 days, 30% off. So great deals. Go to wagertalk.com and see what's going on. There's long-term passes as well. So this is the closest game I have on the board, actually. My numbers are like 1 decimal point off for these 2 teams. It's very even. I got the Mets with a slight hitting advantage. I got the Marlins with a slight bullpen advantage, and then I got the starters ranked dead even. So really deadlocked here. I kind of agree with everything Bryan said. If I was going to go one way, might try an under, but I got both teams 12 or better out of 30 teams in hitting right now. So I probably won't go that way. Maybe a flyer on the Mets first 5 because I do like Peralta and I like his numbers against these guys, and the Mets are hitting a little better, and you can throw out the bullpens. That would be kind of the only advantage I see in this game. Really tight though. Probably won't play it.
This is it is a very tight, I would say, spread. Had a really hard time trying to figure out a side for this game. I was on, as I said, I was on the Mets yesterday. I've been on Max Meyer at times over the past maybe month and a half. He's the one guy I've really been targeting on this Marlins team, and I've had success doing so. So I really don't want to go against him. My gut says he might be due to give up some runs. You look at some of the underlying stuff, and he's been really good. That sweeper slider combo that he has is elite from like a starting pitching standpoint. You're not going to find much nastier like 1-2 punch than his sweeper slider. Gets great chase, a lot of swing and miss on it. But what I've noticed with him is he will leave it over the plate at times. Like when it's good, you're going to get swing and miss. But he's had a couple run out over the heart of the plate. Was really surprised the Mets just didn't hit yesterday. I felt like offensively they were starting to turn a corner. Had a pretty good offensive series against the Nationals. I thought they were going to come in and hit last night enough where they could make Myers, Manaea, Tong hold up. And then again, Juan Soto hits one to the moon, and then no one hit the rest of the game. I think they might get something off of Meyer today. Peralta walked 6 batters in his last start. 6. He had his 5 innings. He beat his way through it. 6 walks, though. That's a little concerning. This is 7.5. I just don't know that these guys are like ace caliber right now. And Tokyo Brandon, you kind of said the offenses are there. I think this one, I had this at 8.3 runs. So I'm actually going to go with the over here. I think you're going to get the offense that didn't come yesterday. All right, Vinny. He says, Trig, I live in North Jersey. If you want to come by for dinner tonight, let me know. I'm not going to be near North Jersey, but I very much appreciate that invite. If there's two things I love doing, it's betting sports, going to games, and eating. That's basically me in a nutshell right there. So, Vinny, I'm going to be in Jersey next weekend though. My nephew turns 2 years old, so I'll be in South Jersey. But I may try to find a game. So you DM me on Twitter. We'll see if we can make it happen. Professor Chris is agreeing with me. He says, love it, Trig. My model shows clean over 8 minus 102. So yeah, we'll see what happens in that one. Let's see if we can find one. I do think we managed to find two of the more competitive close games on the day. Brewers, Dodgers, Marlins, Mets, both really priced right around a coin flip, and kind of feels like that's what it could be on the side. So I'm heading back to the chat here. Again, a couple of people asked about Yankees Rays, wanted to talk about Yankees Rays. That one has already been rained out, so we're going to have to go to a different team. Okay, we'll go to this one. This is a doubleheader. So we did today. I won with the Angels. Brian, I thought you were on your way to a win, and the White Sox came out of nowhere and scored 9 runs in an inning. I mean, that was 0-0. It was crude, and suddenly there was a 9-run. And it got rained out in the Cardinals game. That is part of a doubleheader today. I have some thoughts here. Tokyo Brandon, game 1, it looks like it's still the same pitching matchup. Are you heading back to the well with the Cardinals?
It's actually a different pitching matchup. They got Palante there instead of what's his name? The guy they were going to start. Forgot.
He's going to pitch against
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, take a look at the Cardinals and take a look at the Reds. The Reds are actually hitting really well. I mean, I like the Cardinals in almost every aspect here because Paddock is definitely a fade in my opinion. 0-5 with a 7+ ERA. Not good. 1.63 whip. Not good. And against these Cardinals in 21 at-bats against 333 average and an 840 OPS. So nothing looks good for the Reds here except their hitting. Palante, not the greatest pitcher in the world, but I do have him ranked in the top 1/3 of all MLB pitchers. Maybe lean Cardinals, but can they hit? Their bats are a little cold. They're playing a really bad bullpen here and a starter that I don't like. The Reds bats really scare me though. Maybe an over in this one. Cardinals bullpen is not exactly lights out either. So this game 1 should go over. And regarding double headers, I never bet game 2 unless there's something really special because you don't know if someone's going to get injured. You don't know how much of the bullpen's being used in game 1. Too many X factors, so I stay off game 2s.
Brian, we'll go to you. You got a doubleheader here. You got 2 games to choose from. Obviously, TB, I agree with you. I don't really like to bet game 2 before I know what's happening in game 1, but I will kind of go in with a plan. So, Brian, talk to me about Reds Cardinals because I got something I like in one of these games. Interested to see where you're looking.
Well, get ready because I don't have much on this. Number 1, it's a doubleheader. Number 2, there's no way I want to back either one of these Cincinnati Reds pitchers that are starting today. Chase Petty is playing game 2. It's St. Louis or me, or St. Louis or nothing. And luckily, I have the choice. I have nothing. So it'll go to you. Maybe you can enlighten me on something that's worth playing in this series here.
So I personally, I like doubleheaders. I think game 2, depending on how game 1 plays out, there can be an advantage. There can be like an edge. So I always kind of go in with a plan. My plan would be here. Can I get the Reds in game 2 off of a good situation? Meaning, so I personally like Petty up against Leahy. So that is right. That is going to be, it's going to be Palante and Paddock in game 1. If I had to throw a lean out in game 1, I would just lean with Tokyo Brandon from yesterday because I agreed with him yesterday when he liked the Cardinals. I know there's a pitching change, but that to me is more or less opposing Paddock. Now, the problem with they made a little bit of a correction. TB, you were right to jump on the Cardinals as an underdog yesterday. I know there's a pitching change, but still now, the Cardinals are no longer a dog in game one. It's more like minus 110. I think the books adjusted accordingly right there. What I'm hoping for is the Cardinals win game one and burn a couple of their best relievers. The reason for that, I'm probably a little bit higher on Chase Petty than the market is. And I think if that happened and the Reds didn't burn some of their top relievers in game one, because that is an issue for the Reds right now.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a couple of guys go down. So what I'll be looking for is, do the Reds get to game two, have some of their better relievers? It's going to be a day-night doubleheader. So I believe they're going to clear the ballpark and then play that game as a 7:15 game. You're probably going to get a better crowd. You're probably going to get, more juice in the ballpark for the Reds in game two. And then you've got a guy in Leahy that I'm willing to oppose, and a guy in Chase Petty that I still think is a little bit better. You give me that, but then you give me the bullpens lining up. It would take a close Cardinals win in game one to do that. I'm probably going to be on the Reds in game two, especially if they're an underdog. I think I saw plus 101 earlier today. If they stay in that plus 101 to plus 105 range, I will be looking toward the Reds in game two. And that's one of, I only have like a 4 that I may consider for a client play today. That's one of them, but I've obviously got to get the right setup. So we'll have to see how game one plays out. Let's go to, I'll go to Bryan. We have, we still plenty of time on the show, but yeah, last night Parlay didn't work out. Again, I'll say it every day. Minus 2.4 units on the Parlay. People come into the chat, say we're getting crushed on the Parlay. We haven't won yet this week, but we're not getting crushed on the Parlay. It's basically right around even. A little bit unlucky last night. I thought we were looking at a 2-0 because, of course, we got rained out, so it was down to a 2-teamer. So, Bryan, are you looking? Do you know where you want to go to kick this one off?
I do. There's a couple of games I'm looking at. First of all, you mentioned the Yankees game being rained out. Baltimore and Philadelphia are in the same boat. They haven't called anything, but those are two games that if you're looking to bet on, there's a possibility they will be rained out or at least slow down a little bit. And that's what I'm going to take a look at here. I'm going to take a look at the Cleveland-Philadelphia game, Giacone against Wheeler. Wheeler's about a 185 favorite right now with a total of 7. Wheeler was out for a long time, recently came back. He's been very impressive. For what he has done, he's been very impressive. He's not the strikeout pitcher that he was beforehand, but he's a veteran. He knows how to pitch. Hats off to him. I love to see this when guys have to reinvent themselves and they still have success. But the problem is with the weather in that situation, do you really want to be backing any overs on Wheeler in a game that may have delays? If he comes out and he pitches 2 or 3 innings and all of a sudden they get a delay and he's got to sit for an hour waiting for this rain to go away, they're not going to bring him back out again. So I'm going to use a prop here. I'm going to take Wheeler under strikeouts. I think I saw 5.5 out there at plus money because of that. Now my numbers, your raw numbers on this, and Brandon's, I haven't seen what his is, but there's 2 of them I look at, and they have him much higher than the 5.5. They have him in the 6.5 range. But if there's any delay here of any length at all, they'll pull him early. So I would bet Wheeler will not get the win, something to that effect. Or I also, as I just mentioned, the under in the strikeouts. So this is going to be one of those games, along with the Baltimore game, where you could see some major. It could take a long time for these games to end today if they decide to play it that way. The Yankees decided that they'll never be able to get it in. We'll see these other 2. They could end up getting canceled, so you may not have a part of the parlay here. But if it does get canceled, you got no bet. You don't lose. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the under on the strikeouts for Wheeler, under the 5.5 plus 105. If anybody's got any more updated lines than that, that was the last thing that I saw.
TB, it's not a bad way to look at it. I was, as I looked at the map of the country where I was like, hey, where can I go to a baseball game this weekend? I pretty much had one choice. It was go to like Maine. Like that was the only choice. There is so much rain. Anything in the state of Ohio, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of New York, and then down into the like the Baltimore, like DMV area, it is big time potential to get rained out. So I kind of agree with Brian, but do you see anything in this Guardians Phillies game that's worth sharing with people?
Yeah, a good point by Brian to mention the weather, because when I did my cap, I wasn't really considering that. Wheeler, great numbers against these Guardian batters in his career, and Ciccone, horrible numbers against these Phillies batters, 1185 OPS. The sample sizes are a little small, so I'm taking those with a grain of salt. They're only about 20 to 30 at bats each, so little small sample size. But could anyone? I don't know. The Guardians are hitting a little better than the Phillies, but like Brian said, since Wheeler's made his appearances, he's looked really good. I would think maybe a Guardians first 5 under 1.5 runs might be a play here. Wheeler's been amazing since he's come back. He has reinvented himself. He is not the power pitcher that he was before, but he goes deep into games. But again, the weather is a concern. I think if we take the Guardians first 5 under, we don't have to worry too much about the weather. And if the weather does, throw a monkey wrench into the equation, you will get your money back on that bet if they don't finish 5 or if the delay is too long. So that's probably how I would go in this one. Adam, you're muted.
You are right. You are right. I am muted. What I was saying over here to myself, talking to myself here, what a game this was last night. 1-0. Great pitchers duel, one of the best pitchers duel of the year so far. It gets decided in the 9th inning. So I think worth pointing out that both bullpens completely fresh here. Really didn't use any bullpen on either side. Not really sure. You're talking about. I don't know if you can do a full game under 7 when you don't know, like if the game does start and stop and then you're into the bullpen early. I don't know if I would want a full game under 7 in that scenario. But Brian, I think you've got a good angle here. Wheeler last time out, he did get the strikeouts against the Pirates, but for the most part, like I don't know that he's just like going to come out and strike out 9-10 guys a game. Remember, this is post-injury. Like TB said, he's had to reinvent himself a little bit as a pitcher. And, I do think early on when he came back from his rehab stint and in his rehab stint, he was like maybe overthrowing a little bit, a lot of walks in the early going. Since he sort of like regained his command, the only gone over this 5.5 is that Pirates game. And we know the Pirates will swing and miss. Like that's a team, like that's not an elite contact team right now. They're better dead last in hitting in the league, but they're still working their way up the ladder. Whereas teams like the A's and the Red Sox, had been disappointing, but the A's do a great job of putting the bat on the ball. Only 4 strikeouts in that game. So Brian, I'm going to agree with you. I love the Wheeler call. And it makes so much sense knowing that Mother Nature could cash this ticket for you. If the rain rolls in, he's 3 innings in, he's sitting there with 4 strikeouts and they have an hour rain delay. He's not coming back out. And then you have yourself a winner. Under 5.5 plus 105. That's what I'm seeing. Is that what you have roughly?
That's what I saw last. Yes.
It's a great find. I really like that.
Good.
Go ahead, TB.
If you guys are live betting, I've been around clubhouses and stuff, and generally every team has just a rule of thumb that if the pitcher sits for a half hour, they're going to pull him. So if you're doing live betting, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and it's guards ball. They slap the ball around. They put it in play. They'll bunt a little bit. They, not the easiest team to rack up strikeouts against. So Brian, I think you have a great call here. Going sort of off the beaten path to find us a nice pitching prop here. I think that's a good bet, and that'll open up our parlay. Tokyo Brandon, do you know what you're looking at for your parlay leg here?
I think man, the White Sox looked good yesterday, but I think I'll go with the Braves today because if you look at my Twitter X, I already put out my pitcher matchup rankings and also my pitcher outs projections. Holmes, great numbers against these Nationals that he's going against, and Irvin's not a guy I like to back. So, I guess I'll cheat in this one, cheat again, and take the Braves. The Braves, man, what scares me though is the Nationals. Their hitters, they're hitting really well, and they're kind of a team that everyone overlooks. I got the Nationals hitting 5th in MLB and the Braves hitting 8th. But like I said, on my pitcher matchup rankings that I put on Twitter X before the show, Grant Holmes has a 556 OPS against these guys lifetime. So I think he'll be able to hold those hot bats down at least for the first 5. The Braves have a better bullpen also. That Washington bullpen is in a little bit of trouble. So I think the Braves would be a decent bet here for the parlay. I'll go with that. Minus 200.
Oh no, it's gone down. It's in the 170 range right now. You can actually get as low as 160 in a faraway place, but most of them are about 170 right now.
What is there an argument for the Nationals in this game? Do you guys have an argument for them?
I'm not a huge Holmes fan.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
No. Go ahead. I didn't know. It was a little slow again. We're apparently Maine gets their internet from Canada. I don't know, but this is as slow as it's been in a Hilton property that I've ever. Gonna have to talk to Carm about that. Prez, think I'm getting some of their slow Canadian internet when we're doing the Brian when we're doing the football stream, and then 3 minutes have gone by, and then Prez has just seen a touchdown. That's what I feel like I'm on right now. Yeah, he's like,
that's why I don't do that. Because the internet.
No, go ahead, and I'll break the tie. I want to see what you have to say first. Go ahead.
I just was looking at it, and I don't follow the individual hitters against the pitchers as much as Brandon does, but I just thought the line was slightly high to myself. I'm not an Irvin fan at all, but from the bat standpoint, Washington right now, I trust their hitters as much as I trust Atlanta's hitters. And I don't think there's that big of a differential between the two pitchers. Holmes is a guy that gives you innings. He's there for a reason. He's been a fixture of that lineup this year. But Washington in that price range, the way they hit the ball, got me a little bit interested.
Yeah, one of the options for me today is Nationals plus 1.5. That's one of them I was considering. I'm really just. In general, I'm a little anti-Braves right now. I think I've sort of talked about it over the course of this week. Had a 5%er on Monday night that cashed against the Braves. And what my general thoughts in why I want to go against the Braves, I just think, you take Drake Baldwin out of the lineup. He gets hurt. He's on the IL for right now. He's been one of their best hitters. They have collectively overperformed as a team. So you have this, in my opinion, this sort of sweet spot where they probably should regress a little bit. Excuse me. They probably should regress a little bit. And at the same time, they lose one of their best players. So you got potential regression. And then you take what has been arguably, certainly one of their best hitters all year out of the lineup with injury. I just think they're overvalued in the market. Now, the Nationals can be tricky. The Nationals can, TB's only looking for the Braves to win this game. Of course, we know the Nats can blow a game with the best of them. That bullpen isn't very good. That's why I'd like the 1.5 here. TB, maybe we can middle this one again like we did the other day. I got to say one more thing, though. Sometimes when, the Nationals had some some management changes in their organization, management came in, reassessed all the people in their farm system, started to move some guys around. It was basically like, hey, Dylan Cruz, you're going to AAA. We're going to go with they kind of revamp who should be in the big leagues, who should be at AAA, because the Nationals were guilty of just bringing everyone up. They just were like, oh, we're 30 games under 500. Let's just try all you guys out at the big league level. And it didn't work out well for some of these guys. And I think that the new sort of talent evaluation staff that they have is starting to nail it a little bit. Rochester, I was at a Worcester game last night. They played Rochester, scored 13 runs. They just called up Seaver King. Like, the Nationals have a lot of talent. Brady House back down to AAA, hitting laser beams. He's a guy that they rushed up. So I really think the Nats are like nailing who should be at the big league level. And that's another reason that you've seen them sort of outperform the market to this point in the season. So again, TB, I don't know if I'll have a play on this, so I hope your Braves get it done for a win. But for me, I think there's a lot of value on Nationals plus 1.5. So that's the way I would go in this game. And
interesting interesting little tidbit. Just give me 10 seconds. The Nationals have 25 wins, 27 losses, but they're 15-11 on the road, which is a real weird stat. Just throwing it out.
If we're talking about relative to market, the fact that they're 25-27 has far exceeded expectations for this team to this point in the season. So do what you will with that. But like, for me, I look at them and I just say, oh no, they're just like, they have a lot more players than I think people thought they had. And they're just playing better ball than the market ever gave them credit for at the beginning of the season. And haven't, because they're not 9 games over 500, the market hasn't caught up. Like, they're still just in this area where, like, a couple games under 500, people are ignoring them. And that's why you're getting price every single day. Nationals value pretty much on a daily basis. I think that's the same again here.
Love CJ Abrams. That guy's a baseball player.
Oh yeah.
Love that guy.
And one other thing, I mean, if you want to throw a thought out for, like, again, every one of these Nationals games seems to be high scoring. The Braves had to use 5 relievers last night. Fuentes, Suarez, Iglesias, Lee, and Kinley all appeared for the Braves. So I think there could be runs as well. I'm
now I don't like
your play, is what he's trying to say.
That's not, but the point of this show is not to like agree. It's to just like,
yes.
That's right.
Exactly.
No, I don't. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't like the Braves today. I would take Nationals plus 1.5. But again, just my
this show is probably the least give out free picks show on WagerTalk, because we like to give you information because we have the smartest audience and you guys can make your own bets with our information.
TB, I mean, if we're being honest, I also would just prefer that, again, I'd like you to buy the picks. That would be like really ideal for me and then the other 2 people on the screen, which you can do over at WagerTalk.com, the only place you can get them. And there's a bunch of good specials on the site. Double play special. You can get 2 of the handicappers that you see on the screen right here. All access. If you're interested in the other sports right now, use an get Brian's all access, because you're going to get NHL playoffs, NBA, and he just had a 5-in-1 day yesterday. Brian, go ahead.
I really love our line service at OddsLogic. If you don't have it, get it. Right now, if you're scalping in this game, you can lay 155 and take 160. Free money. That's one of the things that guys who do this for a living, that's what they're looking for. So, we're getting a lot of line movement on some games right now. I'm looking at a couple of casinos that have pulled off the St. Louis-Cincinnati games. So, this is very early in the morning with a lot of rain. It's going to be a weird day for betting. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and so Mark Lambert says best show on YouTube. Very much appreciate that. We appreciate you guys. Mark's always in the chat, and I know some of you guys show up every day. Like, that is massively appreciated. The people that jump in the comments, that like and subscribe all the time, that it helps the show tremendously. So like, we absolutely appreciate that. Like, it's huge that you guys do that and do that on a daily basis. And please, because it really does help the show. We got a bunch of live viewers here on a Saturday. So again, we appreciate it. And you know what? We give out plenty of picks on this show. I gave out a couple already that I can't even use for the parlay. I can't use Nats plus 1.5. Not, TV's use the Braves. I'm not going to give out a game 2 of a doubleheader because we don't know what's happened in game 1 so far, but I do like the Reds in game 2. So I'm going to head over to my list right here. I've got 7 games that that I have a thought in. That could make the client card. I just one. Let's go get a different one and close this parlay out. We'll go to a game we haven't talked about. Yeah, I got one. I like you. Brian, I'm going to come to you first because I know what you're going to say. Because I like the A's and I like JT Ginn, and you're going to tell me, Trig, he took a no-hitter into the 9th inning, and you shouldn't go back to the well with a guy like that. And my counter is he only threw 105 pitches. It's not like an egregious number. I know his previous, like the previous couple starts, he went like 95. That was my reasoning to still be okay liking the A's here. Had he thrown like 115, I would have been with you. In the 105 range, I don't see why he can't come out and pitch a great game again. I like JT Ginn since he was with the Mets organization. So I really like the A's. I think JT Ginn pitches well in spite of that no-hitter blow up earlier this week. But talk to me about A's, Padres, agree, disagree.
The only 2 pitchers pitching today that threw 100 pitches in our last game were JT Ginn at 105 and Michael Lorenzen at 101. JT Ginn's a better pitcher than Michael Lorenzen, but Michael Lorenzen is a veteran. He's been in this situation before. JT Ginn will have to see. I agree. That was my one concern in this game. And well, we also have Giolito going for San Diego, just coming back. He finally got signed. Too many is Tokyo Brian would say to me. There's too many unknowns here to put a play on it. I like the way the A's are playing. I like Ginn, but I'm not going to back him after that. There's other games to talk about, other games to invest in, and I think there's some better spots out there.
TB, your kryptonite, if you will, is the Padres. You've said it on the show a couple of times. You hate betting Padres games, but I am going to put you on the spot. We need your opinion on A's Padres. Anything here for you?
Yeah, I made a free play video earlier for WagerTalk's YouTube channel. It should be, it's already uploaded. So go check that out if you want the detailed breakdown. But I put on my X the pitcher matchups and the outs projections and stuff. Giolito looked really good last time. And Ginn has good numbers against these Padres batters, man, the Padres bats are dead right now. They're hitting 25th out of 30. They're very flaccid right now. And the A's bats are number 8 in current form out of 30. But I think Giolito can cool them off here. I'm thinking first 5 under 4 or 4.5 or whatever you can get. That's what I made on my free play video as well. I think the first 5 innings will be a little quiet. And I think if Ginn is going to have any repercussions from his great outing where he got left in too long and gave up a home run due to idiotic coaching, I think that'll happen after the first 5 innings. So I think first 5 under would be the way to go here.
Yeah, I can't disagree with maybe liking an under here. Because again, I don't really have much of an opinion on the total. As far as the coaching thing, I don't think it was bad coaching. I think again, I'll reference his pitch count at the time going into that at bat. He was at 100 pitches. They obviously like the matchup with him against Neto. It's not like the A's are just sitting on a bunch of high leverage guys. My guess is he had one more batter. Again, Neto is not having a great season, and I think they thought Ginn matched up well with him. Props to Zach Neto. A great swing of the bat, and you know what? If the A's had hit at all, it's not a problem. So I don't think he got left in too long. I don't have any problem with that coaching decision. I do think JT Ginn might show up a little pissed off. Think he pitches that well and then ends up getting stuck with a loss. It's not something that, probably feels like he deserved better right there. Lucas Giolito, I feel you're going to look at his stat line from the last game, 1 hit over 5 innings, think he had some great start. He was sort of all over the place at times, 3 walks, still gave up the 3 runs. And he's a guy we've only seen for 1 start. The A's the A's are so good at putting the bat on the ball. Everyone in that lineup, bat to ball, elite contact hitting team. They put the ball in play. I kind of feel like they could run it up on Giolito if he's like in the zone and he doesn't have like total command of his pitches, which he didn't really have against the Mariners. Kind of think the A's score some runs. So yeah, I'm going to put the A's in the parlay. Brian, what am I looking at for a money line on the A's right now?
On the A's, we're looking at basically 110, pretty much across the board.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I again, and this goes back to like the beginning of the year. I am very like relative to market. The Padres, I'm probably as far off as any team where like the market thinks they're a really good team. I think they're like maybe a 500 team at best this year. So I've been looking for spots to play against the Padres, and this would qualify for me. So we have reached the end of the show. Hope everyone is fired up to have a great, happy, safe Memorial Day weekend. We will still be here on Monday, not a holiday for us. So we'll be here day baseball all day. We'll have the usual show, I believe, at 9 a.m. Eastern on Monday. And again, the parlay today, don't forget to check out the website for picks. The three of us will have picks. But the parlay today, because we do give picks on this show, Tokyo Brandon's going Braves minus 170. I'm going to go A's minus 110. And Brian's going to throw in a prop. He's got Zach Wheeler under 5.5 strikeouts at plus 105. That is your Memorial Day Saturday parlay. Everyone have a great holiday weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday.